consistent, calculating, critical thinking, compliance. They like to be conscientious, correct, conformers, and they can be a tad cold. You see their facial affect. They can just they always have this flat affect. Are you liking me? Are you hating me? Are you thinking about the pot roast? It's just a cold face. Guys, if you're in the high seas, learn to smile every once in a while. Definitely helpful. So, percentage of population, 20 to 25%. We need a lot of people going over and being that think tank. Examples, Bill Gates, Martha Stewart, and Tiger Woods. And I don't remember the last example right now. Awesome. Don't you love that? And then their basic needs are quality answers, values, and excellence. So I've already failed them by not remembering the fourth example, and I'm sorry. Dexter from Dexter's Lab, that cartoon character. Really big eyes. Just remembered it. Your strengths, gifted, sensitive, perfectionistic, you like aesthetics, idealistic, loyal, self-sacrificing, and thorough. If you're under control, you're orderly. You're out of control, you can be impulsive. Under control, you can be cautious. Out of control, you'll be fearful. Under control, precise. Sorry, see, I've already screwed it up. You have to be precise. And out of control, you can be picky. Some of the great jobs that you guys can do if you fit in this category, and I know we're breezing through, but that's why you come to my class on Saturday. Saturday at the Lazy Forza, 9:30 to 10:30. Lazy Forza, 9:30 to 10:30. And then I'll be very cautious and be very thorough. So C-types can be good bookkeepers, good photographers, good surgeons, good finishing carpenters, inventories, even teachers. The C's, they like consistency, detail, excellent works, creativity, perfection in getting it right. They'll have lots and lots of questions, see the pitfalls and think in concepts. C-types are sometimes difficult to please, focused on excellence, attention to detail, and logical. And what you don't like is being criticized, unnecessary interruptions, ambitions without a plan, mistakes, mediocrity, and illogical changes. And what you want us to be to the world and what you C-types are looking for are open-minded, accountable, structured, accurate, analytical, and reasonable. So I will send this personal slide to you on like what type of color, animal, vehicle, motto, song, philosophy, magazine, target, need, and you tend to want. It's a quick summary you guys can go over and use while you're going over and learning about your personality style and learning to love on people from their other personality styles. It's a little lengthy, so we are going to breeze through that. And now, finally, that you have a basic foundation of personality styles, let's dive into the sexual personality style. And again, we'll dive as much as possible in the 10 minutes we have. We will continue it on through Facebook. And first, we're going to talk about that dominant director. Do you relate to this style? Are you that personality style? Are you outgoing and task-oriented? Because your personality style will influence your sex life. Dominant people are decisive, independent, tries to maintain dominance, displays directness, and only by accident in strong-willed way, they will get what he or she wants. So, this is a great approach in the workplace to do that, but not in lovemaking. In lovemaking, you need to honor suggestions, feedback, and have a mutual agreement of contributions in sexual goals or difficulties, especially from the dominant type. You can't just go take charge and say, it's all about me. Because sometimes sex to a dominant personality style could be just a self-focused personal goal or an outlet for frustration. Dominant people can be romantic, but it's typically short-lived. Once they meet their goal, they're like, all right, that's it. That's all I got. So, dominant personality styles want to control their environment. Sometimes in sex, they will maybe even stalemate. And if you're a dominant female, and again, this is for conversation, so you can read this out of Body and Soul or ask us questions Facebook. If you're the dominant female, you might be perceived as the PMS poster girl. And again, I'm not trying to be offensive. It's just where where we come from the books and whatnot. Again, if you want to question that, read Body and Soul. Come and give us a call. So sex for them is mainly excitement and fun and what is in for them. And if you have a dominant spouse in the bedroom, focus on positive results and potential solutions and not the problem. So that's going to help grow the relationship. The temptations for the high dominant types. Dominant males are typically tempted by sex, wealth, position, prestige, influence, admiration, and control. So in short, power. Their impulsiveness can lead to their downfall. Females that are dominant are not burdened by the same temptations but can demand affection rather than just need affection. They might find it in a man or an activity. In a biblical relationship, she might find ways to take control if he is not. So if you're the more submissive guy and she's the more dominant type, she might find ways to take it, either through questions or frustrations, or even by just taking over the role itself. So a dominant male in the bedroom will be centered upon his own orgasm, and then once that's achieved, romance is out the door. And sex for them can also be just performance related while ignoring the partner's needs. And this is out of control dominance as we're talking about these things. The hints and tips where actually you got to read the Body and Soul book or go to our Facebook page. We'll talk about it. And if their goal is to be a great lover, they'll put romance and intimacy as their top priority list. So if you're a dominant type and you want a goal, put romance and intimacy at that in the front. And then and if that is you and a partner, then life can be very exciting in the bedroom. As for female, you might be assertive. But even with passive males, you can still crush the man's ego. This can be frustrating or might be threatening. If the man likes the assertiveness but you don't take the lead, it can be frustrating. So if you're looking for hints and tips on how to be a better dominant sexual partner, because your dominancy is not wrong, it's just different. It's just what you need to bring to the table, whatever spouse you have. Because if you have two dominant spouses, they're going to go over and thrive. But a dominant and a sweet, sensitive spouse are probably not going to thrive as much. So go to our Facebook page, Back to Basics Facebook page, or you can go read the Body and Soul book, or we can have a conversation. You can always call us for questions at the end of the show, 937-321-0807. Send us a text. We can go over and talk, and we can even do consultations, and that's a charge thing. But at least the first couple questions, any type of basic questions, we'll answer that on the cell phone. All right, so influences in the bedroom. We just got just enough time to go through one more, and we'll go through the steady and the conscientious online. So now that you have a basic foundation in the personality styles, again, we're going to dive into the influencer style. So do you relate to that style? Because again, your personality style influences your sex life. So influencers are emotional people, dramatic, people-oriented. They have fear of losing the approval of others, can be tad disorganized, optimistic, and they are great encouragers. So their upbeat, adventurous attitude carries over into their sex lives. Most influencers as lovers serve great in sex because they don't want to be rejected, so they're going to serve you. They will bring creativity and outrageous propositions to please their mate. They feel good when you feel good. So as a partner coming from the influential perspective, they will want to talk, share, and listen regarding your sex life. If you're a strong silent type and you have an influential lover as a partner, they might feel insecure because you don't talk. If you're both influential, your communication will be superior because you're apt to talk about your needs for sexual satisfaction, so you'll both meet their needs. But sometimes you'll talk so much you'll forget to make love. An influential spouse can tend to be emotional and dramatic and sometimes flamboyant. Like I said, not a bad thing. When it's out of control, it is. They want attention and to be liked by everyone, and they don't like conflict and not much on responsibilities. They want to talk and relate to their spouses, so they're looking for those things in their spouse. So if they're not getting it from their spouse, they're going to get it from somewhere else. If your conversation revolves around sexual behavior, references, intimacy, or performance, it is particularly important for you to stress the strengths in the relationship first. The more strengths, the better. So do that strength sandwich. Give a ton of strengths, give one gentle criticism, and then go over back to the strengths. The more personal conversation, the more gentle it needs to be introduced. So influencers' greatest fear is rejection. So if you're a high I personality or even in the sexual style, you're going to probably fear rejection. So remind them on a regular basis on how terrific they are, that you love them, and how terrific they are a lover they are. So some of the temptations as influencers, and we got about 3 minutes. There are so many temptations. Let me count the ways. Unfortunately, the high eyes have a lot of temptations. Maybe it can be temptations for fun, excitement, interesting things, flashy things, spontaneity, fashionable things, expectations from peers, and popularity. And these are all great qualities. But when someone brings flattery, praise, regard, and unconditional acceptance, it can attract them in a positive way if you're trying to build a relationship, or it can tempt them if someone else is feeding into that part. An influencer's sexual philosophy is if it feels good, do it. Males will influence and use their male ego and their strengths of their personality to achieve sex. And because he gets your attention, then he gets what he wants. And then he will basically fill a female's love tank with touch and relationship and listening and talking. and his communication style alone will fill a woman's need to feel secure. They do that very well. But a female influencer, on the other hand, has a need for affection that's going to be met through the verbal expressions more. A female influencer is looking for relational aspects surrounding sex and not sex as the object. Normally, influencers, male or female, will have a more comfortable way of expressing their feelings about sex. If an influencer is open and the partner is expecting things, and the partner is expecting those things and accepting those things, things will go well. And typically, if both partners are both influential, they will probably have a terrific and active sex life. Everybody can have an active sex life. It's just these people thrive in it because they're always talking. They bring the emotional, they bring the conversation, they bring the intimacy. And again, if you want tips to help your sex life from the influencer perspective, go to our Facebook, Back2Basics. And again, we do consultations and workshops and seminars on that. You can come to our class, Striving to Thriving, at the Lacey Forza next Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. We'll go over the basics of personality style in depth. And then if you have questions on the sexual personality style, you can ask me live. I'll be there from 9:30 to 10:30 at the Lacey Forza. So, again, next week, through Facebook, we will go through the steady eddies, which are the S's and the C's. Looks like my music's going off. Think in the background. So you guys have a great weekend, and hope that you guys can give us a call. Again, we'll be there next Saturday at the Lacey Forza. Thank you. God bless.
Play keeps you informed. 1180 AM, KLAY, Lakewood, Tacoma.